She asked the janitor to pretend as her husband for one night. What happened next will inspire you. Sarah Thompson stood in front of the bathroom mirror, her heart racing. The reflection revealed a woman who didn't fit the glitzy gala she was about to attend. Her wrinkled dress, a relic of a past life, clung stubbornly, and her tired eyes told stories of sleepless nights. Alone, she dreamt of carving a better future for her kids, but life seemed to hold her back in its relentless grip. Just that morning, she had received an invitation to the prestigious charity gala. It sparkled with promises of acceptance among the town's elite, yet a dread settled over her. What if they judged her? A pang of anxiety clenched her chest. She thought of her modest lifestyle, the many sacrifices made to give her children a brighter outlook. A plan formed in her mind, a reckless but necessary one. "James," she said to the janitor later that day, panic bubbling in her voice, "will you come with me? Pretend to be my husband? Just for a night." He looked at her, confusion evident in his wise, weathered eyes. Yet, with the instinct of someone who had seen resilience in the faces of struggling families, he hesitated and finally nodded. Together, they would walk into a world that never recognized their painful battles. As they drove to the gala, the two exchanged nervous chuckles. Sarah had always viewed James as a quiet hero, an unassuming man with a kind heart who kept the college running smoothly. Tonight, he donned a jacket that transformed him into someone else, something vital for her mission. Masking her fear behind a brave smile, Sarah felt a weight lift as they exited the car. The event shimmered. The air buzzed like electricity, filled with laughter and spirited conversations. Flamboyant dresses whirled around as elegant shoes clicked against the tiled floor. In stark contrast, she felt small. Yet, as she moved through the crowd with James, sharing glances filled with hope, she felt moments of levity. The rhythm of the night held promise. They belonged, if only briefly. Suddenly, the laughter and music faded as a notorious donor approached, his gaze piercing through them. "And who might you be?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. The air went thick. Their charade stood at the edge of collapse. Sarah's stomach twisted. She felt James' solid presence behind her, an embrace of solidarity. But in that critical moment, silence loomed, a challenge hanging in the air as the world around them stuck in disbelief. Tension danced like flames, but Sarah felt a spark within, fury in the face of judgment. "We don't have riches," she declared, "but we have stories, dreams, reality." The silence morphed into whispers, heads turned, eyebrows raised. Here was a single mother and a janitor standing for countless lives underestimated. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Sarah revealed the raw truth of their lives, her heart danced with freedom. Faces softened, laughter returned, and she felt the burdens lift. James was right beside her, a proud smile breaking his usually calm demeanor. The night transformed, no longer a masquerade but a testament to resilience. In the midst of furs and diamonds, they stood illuminating the beauty of hard work and honesty. As they left the glow of the gala, uncertainty loomed. Had they really shattered the glass ceiling, or was this only the beginning? With the air of unspoken connections lingering, one question echoed between them: what does it truly mean to achieve the American dream when the odds are stacked against you? Sarah stepped out of the gala, her pulse still racing. The night held unexpected turns that ignited a fire within her. The weight she had carried for so long felt lighter, almost non-existent. As the cool night air washed over her, she turned to James, a mix of gratitude and awe dancing in her eyes. "You were amazing," she exclaimed, gripping his arm tightly. His jacket was slightly out of place against the moonlight, yet he wore it with an unexpected confidence. "I can't believe we did that." James chuckled, the sound warm and genuine. "I never thought I'd be crashing a gala, let alone standing up like that. It felt good." "Good?" "It felt exhilarating," Sarah replied, her excitement bubbling. "You have no idea how much it means to me. You're not just a janitor, you're a champion. I mean, you spoke some powerful truth tonight." He shook his head, a humble smile consistently plastered across his face. "We were in this together, Sarah. You had the heart to say it all. I'm just glad I could help." Suddenly, a group of partygoers sauntered past them, their laughter ringing harshly against the quiet street. Sarah felt a twinge of insecurity creep back in. They might have shared a moment of victory, but she knew the world they returned to was marred with judgment they had just faced. "What if they don't understand?" she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "What if they just see us as imposters?" James shrugged, looking more thoughtful. "Let them see what they want, Sarah. You gave voice to those who often go unheard. Maybe that's what we're supposed to do." His words stayed with her as they walked toward her car, each step heavy yet somehow buoyed by the night's revelations. She had come to the gala alone in spirit, but now she felt an unbreakable bond with James, forged in the fires of vulnerability and courage. When they reached her vehicle, she hesitated for a moment, searching his face. "What happens now?" "I suppose we go back to our lives," he said, shifting his weight. "But you know, the bridges we built tonight may lead us somewhere different. Somewhere better?" "Maybe," he answered, a glimmer in his eyes. "You never know what one night like this can spark." Inspired, Sarah made a decision. "I want to do more, James. Help people struggling like us tell our stories. Use this moment." James nodded slowly, enthusiasm igniting within him. "That's a great vision, Sarah. You could start something incredible if you pull people in." She smiled, picturing children and families in need receiving support, her past struggles giving way to a future of hope. "Together?" "Together," he affirmed, a warm agreement passing between them. As they drove home, Sarah felt a wave of possibilities wash over her. Maybe this wasn't just about one night. Maybe it was about rewriting their stories, shaping their destinies. But as she turned the corner onto her street, an unsettling thought crept in. Could they face the real challenges ahead, fight against the relentless tide of doubt? Just then, her phone buzzed with a message. She glanced down, seeing a notification that made her heart skip. What if everything was about to change, and not just for them? What lay ahead, an unexpected twist that would truly test their resolve? Sarah parked her car in the driveway, the engine humming softly as she sat there, still reeling from the night's events. Her heart fluttered in her chest. What had begun as a simple gala night had transformed into something monumental, a catalyst for change. The message on her phone beckoned her with the promise of yet another twist. She picked it up again, her fingers trembling slightly. The text was from her sister, Emma, her closest confidant. "Can we talk? It's urgent. Call me." "Hey, I've got to make this call," Sarah said, glancing nervously at James, who shifted in the passenger seat, concern etched on his face. "Sure. I'll wait for you," he replied, a supportive smile coaxing her onward. She stepped out of the car, the night air alive with the thrill of possibilities. As she dialed Emma's number, she felt apprehensive, her stomach fluttering. Emma answered quickly, her voice cracking. "Sarah. I need your help, it's about Mom." "What's wrong?" Sarah's heart raced. Her mom had faced health struggles lately, but she hoped it wasn't anything serious. She's in the hospital. It's worse than we thought. I'm really scared." Sarah's breath hitched. "What happened?" She struggled to keep her voice steady, forcing back tears. "She collapsed at work. the doctor is going to talk to us soon. I didn't know who else to call. Emma's voice trembled, and Sarah's heart broke for her sister. I'll be right there, she promised, her mind racing. She turned back to James, who eyed her warily. Is everything okay? He asked. No, she said, fighting to stay composed. It's Mom. She's in the hospital. James stood up straight, his demeanor shifting. I'll go with you. No, you don't have to, Sarah protested, though the eagerness in her voice surprised her. It's a family thing. Maybe it is. But supporting you is what I want to do, he countered, determination hardening his tone. The way he looked at her, with fervor and sincerity, made her stomach flutter again. She nodded, overwhelmed. Okay. Let us go. As they drove to the hospital, Sarah felt a growing urgency. She thought about how much her mom's strength had shaped the person she was today. Her mind raced, assessing what lay ahead. Would she find the strength to handle this? And what if the night they had shared had prepared her for this very moment, this unexpected challenge? Moments later, they arrived, and Sarah scanned the parking lot. Each vehicle brought back memories. Recollections of family gatherings filled with laughter echoed in her mind, leaving her nostalgic, mixed with fear of what awaited her inside. As they rushed through the entrance, Sarah clenched James's hand, feeling his warmth seep into her. It was grounding, reminding her she was not alone. Yes, she whispered to herself, halfway convincing her that they could face whatever was coming together. The hospital lobby buzzed with activity, but all Sarah could focus on were the looming questions. She squeezed James's hand tightly, and he tightened his grip in response. As they approached the nurse's station for information, Sarah felt a wall of dread forming. Will you stay by my side? She asked James suddenly, looking up at him. Always, he said, his eyes steady with promise. But just as she thought she'd found her footing, a figure appeared in the hallway. Her father, haggard and pale, an expression of concern etched on his face. Sarah! He called, his voice cracking. The sense of urgency returned full force as they approached, the weight of uncertainty thick between them. And in that moment, accompanied by a sinking dread, Sarah understood that the night had truly just begun. What would this hospital visit reveal? Would their family face unimaginable changes together? Sarah's heart raced as she prayed the future would be brighter. Her father's footsteps echoed through the sterile hallways, each step heavy with unspoken fears. Sarah's heart kicked hard in her chest as they met. She searched his face for answers, but it was lined with worry, dark shadows smudging under his eyes. What do we know? He asked, glancing at James with a nod. The moment felt fragile, the air thick with anxiety. They're still assessing her, Sarah replied, her voice shaking slightly. Emma's waiting for us in the waiting room. Let us go then. The sooner we know, the better, he urged, but his shoulders sagged as if carrying a weight only a parent could understand. They moved together, a united front against the barrage of unknowns lurking ahead. The stark lights of the hospital flickered above them, each fluorescent buzz a reminder of the reality they now faced. Sarah felt a wave of dizziness wash over her. I shouldn't have left her alone, her father muttered, half to himself. I should have been there for her. Dad, don't do this to yourself. You can't be everywhere at once, Sarah said gently, her own worry threatening to overtake her. We will be there for her now. He nodded but didn't meet her gaze. Sarah could see the battle raging within him, guilt wrapped tightly around his heart. As they rounded the corner into the waiting room, her sister's pale face lit up with recognition. Emma stood, arms crossed tightly, a lump of anxiety in her throat. The moment they locked eyes, Emma rushed forward and embraced Sarah, clinging to her like a lifeline. I was so scared, she whispered, her voice muffled against Sarah's shoulder. What if this is it? Sarah's heart clenched. Stop. We don't know anything yet. The doctors will talk to us soon. Have you seen her? Emma asked, stepping back and looking to their dad. Not yet. We're waiting for an update, he replied, his tone dipping into concern. In an age when life seemed so disposable, these moments felt fragile, as if one wrong word could shatter everything. They all took a seat, the tension mounting like a thunderstorm. Each minute stretched into eternity as they hovered over text messages, glanced at passing nurses, and tried to read the small TV in the corner playing an uninteresting show. The doctor should be here soon, James said quietly, and Sarah felt a swell of gratitude for him. He was anchored in their storm and would hold her hand through it all. Minutes turned into an hour. Finally, a tall doctor with kind eyes appeared at the doorway, clipboard in hand. Her heart raced at the sight of him. Was that compassion in his gaze? He approached them, and silence enveloped the room. How is she? Sarah asked, her voice barely a whisper, punctured by uncertainty. The doctor's expression softened, but he didn't smile. I'm afraid we have some serious issues to discuss, he said, glancing towards her father before looking back at the family. I suggest we speak in private. Panic surged through Sarah's veins. She looked at her father and Emma, sharing a collective dread that echoed loudly in the air. The doctor beckoned them, and for a brief moment, all Sarah could think was how everything was about to change. As they followed the doctor down a dim corridor, a hard truth fluttered in Sarah's chest: life had never felt more unpredictable. Each step echoed possibilities tied up in fragile hearts. What truth was waiting behind this door? Would this new challenge tear them apart or bind them closer together? Only moments would reveal their fate, and Sarah braced herself, unsure of what to expect next. The doctor led them into a small conference room, its walls bare and fluorescent lights humming overhead. It felt sterile, like a place meant for difficult conversations. Sarah's stomach twisted as they all took their seats, the weight of anticipation folding heavy over them like an unwelcome shroud. Thank you for coming in, the doctor began, his gaze steady and serious. I wish I had better news. Your sister is stable, but the tests indicate some concerning developments. Concerning? Emma echoed, her voice strained as if the word itself caused her pain. The doctor cleared his throat, readying himself. There are signs of a serious condition, likely affecting her heart. We need to do further testing to confirm the extent of the situation, but I want to be clear about what we're facing here. Sarah felt the air rush from her lungs, leaving her lightheaded. Heart condition? She repeated, as if saying it could lessen the blow. Yes. It's not uncommon for symptoms to arise unexpectedly, especially in someone her age, he continued, his empathy steady but distant. If it is what we suspect, we'll need to discuss treatment options right away. Silence enveloped them, an invisible barrier that separated them from the world outside. Sarah glanced at her father. His lip quivered, and she could see the pain etched into the lines of his face. Emma turned slightly, and Sarah squeezed her sister's hand, hoping for strength. What does this mean for her? Is she going to be okay? Emma's voice trembled. We're going to do everything we can, the doctor assured them, perhaps too quickly, like an attempt to placate their fears with bravado. But I need you to prepare yourselves for a long road ahead. Long road ahead. The phrase echoed like a curse in Sarah's mind. She had always thought of her sister as invincible, the younger one with dreams and laughter that danced around them. What if that was changing now, curling up like autumn leaves? What do you suggest? James asked, his voice calm but steely. What's the next step? Right now, we need to monitor her closely. We'll admit her for a series of tests, ultrasounds, MRIs, and possibly a cardiac catheterization, the doctor informed them. After that, I'll bring in a specialist who can discuss the treatment plan based on the results. Sarah's heart sank further. Is it life-threatening? She forced herself to ask, knowing fully that the answer mattered more than the comfort of ignorance. The doctor paused. It could be, depending on how we proceed. But I want to emphasize that we caught it early. Time is on our side. Time. A flicker of hope ignited within her, but it was so fleeting, so fragile. Can we see her? Yes, of course. We should have her moved to a room shortly, the doctor said, his tone softer now as he seemed to understand their turmoil. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. We're all here to help. As they nodded, the underlying fear sharpened into clarity. They needed to remain close, to be a united front, for not only Emma but for each other too. Sarah could sense the shift in the air, a decision lingering like a delicate promise. Let us take care of her, she said, squeezing Emma's hand tighter. We can get through this together. But even as she spoke those words, doubt curled in the corners of her mind. How much would this challenge reshape their lives? How would they hold on to hope when faced with such uncertainty? Just then, the doctor stepped out, leaving them in that room, heavy with anticipation and fear. They exchanged worried glances, the gravity of the situation settling in. I won't let anything happen to her, her father finally whispered, his voice cracking. Neither will we, Sarah assured him, feeling the strength of their family bond ready to be tested. Yet, as they sat there, waiting to hear about Emma, a new thought settled in her mind. What if this was just the beginning of their fight? Would they even be ready for what lay ahead? Every heartbeat felt like a countdown to the unknown. Something was going to change, and she wasn't sure if it was them or their entire world. The minutes felt like hours as they waited. Sarah's hands were clammy, entwined with Emma's. Each tick of the clock echoed in her ears, a steady reminder of the reality they were facing. They had always been a close-knit family, weathering storms and enjoying sunshine together. Now, it felt like they were standing at the edge of a precipice, staring into darkness. Do you think I'm ready for this? Emma's question startled Sarah. She looked at her sister, her youthful face marred by lines of concern. Ready? Sarah paused, searching for the right words. We're all here for you. That's what matters. But what if it gets worse? What if I can't handle it? Emma asked, her voice barely above a whisper as she leaned against Sarah's shoulder, seeking comfort. You don't have to handle it alone, Sarah replied, brushing Emma's hair back gently. We'll be with you every step of the way, Emily. No matter what happens, we face it together. Just then, the door creaked open, and a nurse walked in, her face warm yet serious. Your sister's being moved to her room. We'll be doing the tests shortly. Sarah felt a surge of urgency as they rose to follow the nurse. The fluorescent lights flickered above them, reminiscent of their frail hopes. As they entered the room, Sarah caught her breath. Emma lay still on the bed, her heart monitor providing a rhythmic serenade that felt both comforting and foreboding. Her sister's hair was spread across the pillow, golden strands catching the light. It struck Sarah then, how beautiful and fragile life could be. Hey, Em, Sarah murmured, moving closer. It's just us now. Emma opened her eyes slowly, a faint smile brushing her lips. Did you bring the donuts? She asked, teasing even though the joy in her voice was underpinned with fear. Sarah chuckled softly, shaking her head. No donuts, but I've got an army of love ready to fight for you. Their father sat to one side, silent but vigilant. He had been a rock in times of trouble, but Sarah could see the worry lines deepening around his eyes. She wanted to reassure him, but the truth gnawed at her, they were all scared. As the nurse began arranging the equipment, Sarah noticed a calendar hanging on the wall behind her. The day's date was circled, an appointment that felt both close and far away. She was struck by how time seemed to twist in moments like these, suddenly so precious yet so fleeting. In an attempt to lighten the mood, Emma said, I always thought if I ever got stuck in a hospital, I'd at least have some crazy stories to tell. Like that time I faked my own wedding to a janitor just to escape family interventions. The room filled with a palpable tension as they shared a laugh, an impossible moment of levity in all the turmoil. It felt good, a brief oasis, a reminder that laughter could still break through fear's heavy veil. Then, as the nurse prepared Emma for the first test, shadows hid behind their smiles and the laughter faded. The room shifted back, heavy again. Sarah felt the weight of uncertainty tightening around her throat. What if she hesitated? What if all this ends up changing everything for you? Emma's eyes brightened suddenly, and she replied, "Then I'll just have to show everyone how strong I can be. Because I'm not going anywhere." "Neither are we," their father said, his voice firm with resolve. As they stared at each other, eyes glistening with hope and dread, Sarah realized this wasn't just about Emma, it was about all of them, how they'd fight together. But before they could say more, the doctor returned, his face unreadable yet purposeful. The gravity of the moment hung heavy. Sarah could feel her pulse racing, anticipation curling in her stomach like a storm about to break. What would the tests reveal? What would their next steps be? As Sarah's heart raced, she knew that the battle had begun, and they could only move forward no matter what awaited them on the other side. Would they emerge stronger or shattered? The answer lay just beyond the door, waiting for them. The door swung open, and in walked Dr. Atkins, his white coat grazing against his knees. He looked each of them over, assessing both their physical selves and their emotional states. The room felt electric as he took a deep breath, preparing to share information that could change everything. "First, I want to assure you that we're going to do everything we can," he began, his voice steady yet kind. "We'll start with some diagnostic tests to get a clearer picture of what we're dealing with. I know that uncertainty is hard, but we're here with you, every step of the way." Sarah nodded, squeezing Emma's hand tighter, feeling a flicker of warmth in her chest at the doctor's words. In that moment, surrounded by their family unit, she held on to a fragile thread of hope. Emma's luminous eyes locked onto hers, burning with both fear and a fierce determination. "Okay, Doc," Emma said, her voice more robust now. "Let us get this show on the road." Her bravery shone through her playful challenge, turning a heavy mood into one buzzing with anticipation. The doctor smiled faintly, a sign of relief washed over Sarah, but it was fleeting. Dr. Atkins left the room, instructing a nurse to come in to start the tests. Sarah took a deep breath, feeling a bit of weight lift off her shoulders, if only temporarily. "Let us play a game," Emma suggested, breaking the tension as she raised an eyebrow, a familiar glint in her eyes. "Truth or dare? But, like, hospital edition." Their father chuckled, something Sarah desperately wanted to hear again and again. Emma started with the dare. "I dare you both to sing me a song. Your best one." Sarah laughed, her heart bolstered. "Oh God, you know I can't carry a tune to save my life." "Exactly. That's what makes it good." Emma grinned. Before either of them could object, Sarah launched into an exaggerated rendition of a popular song, drawing out the notes far beyond what was reasonable. Emma howled with laughter, her joy ringing like a bell. It felt like magic amidst the looming shadow, if only just for a moment. Moments later, the nurse entered, her presence as gentle as a whisper. "Okay, Emma, we'll get started now. Just a few tests, and we'll try to keep you as comfortable as possible." Emma faced her with a confident smile. "Bring it on." As the nurse prepared the equipment, Sarah's gaze wandered to the heart monitor, noting the steady rhythm. It was a constant reminder that Emma was there, alive, fighting. Suddenly, a thought struck Sarah. "Emma," she said, "what if you could pick any place to be right now, anywhere in the world? Where would you want to go?" Emma hesitated, a thoughtful look creeping onto her face. I think I'd choose a beach." She paused, letting the imagination unfold. A perfect sunset, waves gently crashing, and a taco truck nearby. "I could sit there, feet in the sand, eating tacos." "That sounds perfect, right?" "Totally perfect," Sarah agreed, her heart warming at the image of their beach days together. And you know what? We'll make that happen. Just you wait. As the tests began, Sarah could feel the tension in the air shift. It wasn't just about surviving the storm, it was about navigating it together, finding the light even when it felt distant. And they would, because that's what family did. The first test felt long, each beep of the machine echoing the beats of their racing hearts. But when they managed to catch Emma's eye, there was an unspoken promise there that they would hold each other up. Just as the nurse finished the setup, the door swung open once more. A new figure stepped inside, filled with an energy that pulled their eyes toward him. It was the janitor, the same one Emma had playfully referenced. "Excuse me," he said, scratching his head, a sheepish grin breaking across his face. "I heard something about a wedding." Emma's eyes widened, and Sarah burst into laughter. Amidst uncertainty, amidst fear, they found a flicker of joy, one that felt profound and real. And in that moment, as laughter echoed through the hospital room, Sarah realized they were stronger than they knew. But just how far they would go to prove it was yet to unfold. The laughter hung in the air like a bright balloon, lifting the weight in the room just a bit higher. Sarah wiped her eyes with the back of her hand, still chuckling at the janitor's unexpected entrance. Emma's face lit up, the fear momentarily fluctuating away as her imagination went wild. "Did you just propose to me?" Emma exclaimed, half serious, half teasing. "Because I might just say yes." The janitor chuckled, his grin widening. "Well, I'm not quite dressed for the occasion, but it's never too late for a surprise wedding. See?" Emma nudged Sarah playfully. "Help me to plan the best wedding ever." Sarah couldn't help but roll her eyes with a smile. "All right, fine. We'll have tacos, of course." She turned to the janitor. "And you'll need to learn a dance. We can't have a wedding without a dance floor." "I can sweep up after the dance," he joked, pretending to hold a broom with a flourish. Emma burst into giggles again, the sound filling the small hospital room with almost cinematic lightness. Amid the sterile smells and the beeping machines, this wasn't just a test, it was a reminder of the life they shared, of how laughter could weave through the cracks of worry. The nurse returned to check the equipment, smiling at the scene. "Everything okay in here?" she asked, her voice light. "Just planning a wedding," Emma proclaimed proudly. "Make sure to save me a piece of cake," the nurse added, laughing as she moved to adjust some wires. "Now, let us keep that bride-to-be calm while we work." "Deep breaths, Emma." Emma nodded diligently, her face settling into serious focus. The janitor stepped back slightly, sensing the shift in energy, but Sarah could see Emma still held on to that playful twinkle in her eye. "I'm okay, really," Emma said, but Sarah caught the slight tremor in her voice. Of course she wasn't entirely okay, they all knew that. But for now, they weren't going to let fear creep back in. "Okay, everyone, let us play another round. Who's up for Would You Rather?" Sarah threw in, sensing the need to keep the energy up. Emma clapped her hands. "I'm in. I'll start. Would you rather have unlimited tacos for life or unlimited ice cream? Cookies and cream forever?" The janitor replied without missing a beat. Emma rolled her eyes. "That's so basic. I mean, who isn't going to choose ice cream?" As the game continued, little snippets of joy began to fill the silence. They laughed, debated, and even debated silly options. For every would-you-rather choice, there was a story shared, a memory that bubbled up. But then, just as the laughter faded, the room's atmosphere shifted. The nurse paused, glancing at the heart monitor. The rhythm quickened slightly, and Sarah's heart sank. "Emma, we'll have to take a quick break from the game," the nurse said gently, trying to lighten the mood. "Just need to check something." The janitor's smile faded, concern etched on his face. I can go wait outside?" "No. Emma said quickly. Please stay. I want you here. Emma's pleading gaze shifted like a spotlight, highlighting their connection in that hospital room, a shared moment of humanity layered over the starkness of the machines that surrounded them. Sarah felt her heart ache. This wasn't just about tests, this was their lives, their love, and the weight of uncertainty combined with the power of a decent laugh. As the nurse began her check, Sarah's mind whirled, realizing just how fragile they all were. Suddenly, she knew she couldn't let fear win. She looked at Emma and Ms. Wonderful, moments ahead. Alright, here's something we can do. When this is all over, we'll book the beach house, the tacos, and I'll finally spill my secret taco recipe, Sarah declared, feeling the warmth of resolve flow through her. And we'll throw the biggest taco wedding this town has ever seen. The room erupted in lights of laughter, their spirits dancing above the shadow of worry. Yet, as the nurse finished, she shared a look with Sarah that whispered unworded truths: this fight wasn't over. But as the laughter echoed, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. What would it take to really break through the fear? And what would emerge on the other side when the tests were done, and the truth revealed? The laughter began to fade, replaced by a quiet tension in the room. Sarah exchanged a worried glance with Emma, whose smile strained ever so slightly at the edges. The heart monitor's rhythm sounded like a clock ticking down to something significant, something uncertain. Okay, all done with that. The nurse said brightly, her hands moving swiftly to adjust the monitor. Emma, everything looks stable. Emma sighed but still held on to that flicker of a grin. Great. So back to tacos? Of course. Sarah jumped in, eager to redirect the atmosphere. Let's get creative. What toppings should we have? Meat and more meat. The janitor chimed in, his earlier worry slipping away. Extra hot sauce, too. Their banter continued, a dance of light-heartedness amidst the beeping machines and medical charts. But as the laughter erupted, an unexpected thud echoed in the hall outside. The momentary distraction sent a ripple of anxiety through the group. Did you hear that? Emma turned pale, her voice softer. Before anyone could respond, the door swung open, and the doctor walked in, a clipboard in hand, the expression on his face careful and composed. Emma? He started, the way he said her name sent a chill through the room. Is everything all right? Sarah asked, her protective instinct kicking in. The doctor nodded, his demeanor calming yet serious. We have results from the scans, and I want to discuss them with you. Can't it wait? Emma said, her heart racing. I was just about to plan a wedding. A flicker of a smile crossed the doctor's lips, but he shook his head gently. It's important, Emma. I think you'd want to hear this now. The janitor, sensing the gravity of the moment, shifted uncomfortably. Should I leave? No. Don't go. Emma's voice rose slightly, desperation creeping in. You're like my good luck charm. I need you here. The doctor waved the janitor to stay. All right, let us all sit down for a moment. They pulled the chairs closer, forming an intimate circle that felt both safe and vulnerable. Sarah held Emma's hand tightly, trying to transfer some strength through her grip. As the doctor spoke, the words began to blur together. Emma's breathing had quickened, and Sarah could see the tension knotting in her shoulders. The doctor explained the findings, medical jargon slipping through the air like a shadow. But the crucial blow came when he mentioned more tests, more waiting, and a specialist's opinion. After the doctor wrapped up, an almost deafening silence followed. Emma's eyes glimmered with unshed tears, and Sarah could feel her friend's wheels turning in thought, battling the emotions swirling in her chest. Sarah ventured softly, trying to break through the emotional fog. I just want to go home, Emma murmured, her voice shaking. Let us get you home, then, the janitor said, his eyes brightening with an idea. How about we turn this all around? We can throw a little party, a taco party. I'll bring the chips and salsa. That way, you focus on relaxing and enjoying instead of all this. Emma blinked, looking from him to Sarah. Was this really possible? Could they turn a spiraling moment into something empowering? Yeah. Sarah nodded, encouragement blooming in her chest. A taco feast sounds perfect. We deserve to celebrate, no matter how tiny the reason. And in that moment, something ignited in Emma's eyes. You're right. It's not just about tacos, it's about us, letting go. The idea of a party felt liberating, and the janitor's spirit reminded them that even in chaos, there was still room to breathe. As they chatted excitedly about toppings, plans, and invites, Sarah took a closer look at Emma. Was this the turning point they so desperately needed? But a gnawing question remained: could laughter truly overcome fear, or would the weight of reality come crashing down again? And what at that moment would the janitor become in Emma's life? Just a friend or something more, filling gaps that fear had left behind? The following days blurred into a whirlwind of emotions, each moment oscillating between laughter and anxiety. Sarah found herself immersed in planning the taco party, a flicker of excitement overshadowing the underlying fear of what was happening with Emma. It was both a distraction and a necessary healing process. Okay, we'll need balloons, Sarah exclaimed, scrolling through a checklist she had created digitally. Emma, perched comfortably in bed, quirked an eyebrow. Wait, are we getting all fancy now? Emma teased, her voice stronger with each passing day. The lightheartedness warmed Sarah's heart. Absolutely. This party is happening, no excuses allowed. James, the janitor-turned-hero, partnered with them every step of the way. Sarah noticed a sense of purpose blooming within him. He pitched in with supplies and even prepared to bring his famous guacamole. His gentle humor and kindness made the daunting days feel lighter. As the evening of the party approached, anticipation buzzed like electricity. The house filled up fast, with friends and community members rallying to support Emma. Suddenly, it turned into so much more than just tacos. It became a gathering of love and connection. You look great, Sarah said to Emma, who had dressed up in colors that brightened her spirit. Thanks. You think they love my taco story about sweet potatoes? Emma asked, excitement shimmering in her voice. Definitely. Sarah laughed. People might believe we're food geniuses. The laughter swirled around the room, binding their spirits with warmth. As they transformed the living room into a taco haven of colors and flavors, each friend's contribution echoed their love. Here you go, James handed Emma a plate loaded with tacos adorned with vibrant toppings. You have to try this. The best masterpiece yet. As the night continued, they shared stories full of memories, struggles, and laughter, an unbreakable chant of resilience. But eventually, as the night wound down, uncertainty crept back into Sarah's mind. She knew the worries about Emma hadn't vanished. Would they ever truly be free from fear? In a corner of the party, away from the thrumming emotions, Sarah caught a glimpse of James chatting with Emma's friends, all laughter and sincerity. A smile tugged at her lips as she watched him. Maybe he wasn't just a janitor anymore, he had become a friend and ally. Later that evening, with the crowd thinning and the sun setting, the scene felt bittersweet. Sarah, I need you here, Emma said suddenly, her gaze piercing through Sarah's thoughts. Can we talk? Of course, Sarah replied, sensing the shift in Emma's tone. They stepped outside onto the patio, the fresh air wrapping around them like an embrace. The stars twinkled above, but the serenity was laced with an unspoken urgency. I feel so grateful for everyone tonight, but I can't shake the doubts, Emma confessed, staring up at the sky. What if I can't handle what's coming? What if the test results change everything? Hey, Sarah said softly, placing a comforting hand on Emma's shoulder. We don't know what tomorrow holds, none of us do. But we'll be here together, no question about that. Tonight, we celebrated your strength. Emma's face softened. It's just I guess I've always wanted to be seen as strong, invincible even. And now, it feels too raw, too real. You are strong, but you're also allowed to be vulnerable, Sarah reassured her, her voice tender. That's part of being human. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to lean on us. A tear slipped down Emma's cheek, and Sarah instinctively wiped it away. You're right. I don't always have to put on a brave face. Thank you for reminding me it's okay to be a little messy. Oh, honey, we're all a little messy, Sarah chuckled lightly. Life is full of twists. But we can embrace that together, we already are. With each of Emma's exhales, a sense of fear unraveled the bond they shared, stripping away insecurities that had hidden in the shadows. Just then, James appeared, the warmth radiating from him lifting their spirits higher. Party isn't over yet? Who's ready for a game of charades? He hollered, laughter bubbling in his voice. Emma's expression shifted, the joy she radiated evident. I am. Let us show them who's the real champion of charades. As they laughed and played through the night, Sarah felt a wave of peace hug her heart. Maybe the challenges ahead wouldn't break them, maybe they would come out on the other side stronger together. And here was the truth, family is not just blood. It's the ones who gather around you in moments of uncertainty, ready to embrace every triumph and challenge that comes their way. They would face the next chapter together, hand in hand, ready to rewrite their stories. As the party wrapped up, Sarah caught James's eye, a shared understanding radiating between them. They were all warriors, standing tall amid life's storms. And just as she felt the thrill of hope, Emma roared with laughter, shaking off fear like confetti, illuminating the dark sky with their shared dreams. This wasn't just about surviving anymore, it was about truly living. Stepping forward with courage, and embracing every single taco-filled moment. Now, if you enjoyed this story and want to keep these moments coming, you need to subscribe to the channel immediately. This is the moment to show your support. Also, leave a like now to feed the algorithm and ensure you don't miss out on future exclusive tales. Comment below your reactions and feelings about the ending, we want to hear from you. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. We're in this journey together.